Hello, hello, and good morning, and welcome to this fabulous Tuesday. We are here today in Morning Mindset to give you a little boost to get you started for the day. And we are currently discussing our theme or our topic for this week, which is quitting. It's quitting things you need to quit right now. And like I say, I don't normally encourage people to quit unless it's something that's bad for them. And I've been thinking about this topic a lot since we've been doing the biohacking, and I'm still doing that. And I've got a really lovely update for you on Thursday regarding the biohacking and, like things that have been changing for me because I'm doing it. But that's coming up in Thursday's session in the wellness spa. For now, we are talking here today about quitting things, and today we have another topic as part of the theme. Now, we have covered living in the past, which was yesterday. We have also covered what was the thing we covered in the first day? It was pleasing everybody. That was it. So we've done pleasing everybody. So today we have another one. And today the thing that we need to quit is overthinking. And I know a lot of people who do this, and overthinking is something that will literally stall your progress and sometimes prevent you, honestly, from being happy. Okay, so this is very much something that is linked to happiness and to joy and to living in the moment and living in the present. And this is what I always encourage people to do, because there's never any guarantee of tomorrow. For sure, we want to look to the future, we want to plan, and we want to work today, for tomorrow. But we don't want to constantly be constantly thinking about the future, overthinking the future, overthinking what's going to happen if this happens or this doesn't happen or this person does this or this or I don't do that, and it just becomes like we burn up so much time and so much energy in the overthinking process that alone can stall things, because you simply don't have time for anything else because you're constantly overthinking it. Overthinking can also cause, I'm going to say, like mental health problems, in terms of it can interrupt and disrupt your sleep, or physical problems as well. It can interrupt and disrupt your sleep. It can also cause fear and anxiety and worry when there doesn't need to be, because we're constantly coming up with scenarios in our mind of things that could go wrong, because we're trying to see, the outcome of what something is going to be, and should I do it, shouldn't I do it? And at the end of the day, I really think, obviously, proceed with caution in many things in life, and use your common sense when that's the case. But for the most part, when it's something linked to your goal or something linked to what you really, really, really want in life, don't overthink it. If it's something like, I want to travel, I want to see the world, I really want to quit my job to stay at home with my kids, I want to do this, overthinking it can really cause you to kind of put that stop on progress. And when we do that, we're just stalling. So if you quit this now and start taking leaps of faith and realizing that no matter what, everything will always be okay as long as you have the expectation it will, then there is no need to overthink things. There is just that gut instinct feeling, and it because this is the spectrum, the feeling spectrum. We've got positive feelings on the one side and we've got negative feelings on the other side, okay? Now, when we overthink, we are technically overriding our inner guidance system. We are overriding our own feelings on the matter because we somehow think that is better for us, but it's not. So what we don't want to do is overthink, because the overthinking is then overriding our inner guidance system. So if you want to overthink anything, try to overthink the reason why you override your inner guidance system. Why don't you trust yourself? Why don't you trust your feelings? It's very, very important. And a lot of people say, well, like in a relationship, I trusted my feelings, I fell in love with this person and they cheated on me and left me and I was miserable. Okay, but that's still not a bad thing, because you loved, and you've got to look at that point to say, okay, is it better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all? And that's kind of like the theme of the overthinking. Is it better to have tried and failed, or is it better to have tried and realized it wasn't quite the right thing, or is it better to have tried and then, like you say to yourself, okay, well, that didn't work out according to plan, but maybe something else has come from it? Or is it better to just to sit stuck where you are? And if that is the case, then don't waste your time overthinking it, because you've already made your decision that you're not going to move forward. So you really can save yourself a lot of time and a lot of energy, and a lot of going over and over and over the same thing, overthinking it, coming up with scenarios. If you just decide for yourself, am I going to go for it, and I'm going to deal with any consequences that arise, good or bad, because I know I can and I'm equipped to do that? Or am I simply going to not, because I'm overthinking? If I'm going to overthink, then I shouldn't do it. And I think that's how we overcome this overthinking thing. If you're going to overthink, if you're going to try either convince yourself one way or the other, or talk yourself out of something one way or the other through the overthinking process, then just don't bother. And I think, if you really truly want the answer to whether you should go for something or not, if you really truly want that sign, hello Martha, if you really truly want that sign as to whether you should go for something or not, or whether you should take that chance, or whether you should go in this direction or this direction, the inner guidance system is the only thing that you need, because you will know, this feels good to do that. This would be exciting. This would bring me happiness. This would bring me joy. This would be fun. All of that stuff is on the one side, and then on the other side, you've got, I wouldn't be happy in that situation. I would feel bad. I would be angry. I would be frustrated. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. So that's a very clear indicator. There's nothing to overthink in the realm of feelings. So we're talking about overthinking today, Martha. So when you are in a situation where you find yourself like overthinking, pondering, like coming up with reasons to and reasons not to and stuff like that, you're only going to confuse yourself, and you're only going to confuse the situation even more than it already is. So instead of overriding your inner guidance system with overthinking, just simply bring yourself back to that inner guidance system. Ask yourself, does it feel good? Am I going to go for it? Or does it feel bad, and shall I just stop? Because there's no real in between. You either want to do something or you don't want to do it. And when you're overthinking everything, you're doing it for a reason. You're doing it because of some kind of emotion that's laying inside you, either on a conscious or subconscious level, that is wanting you to talk yourself out of something. So if you are feeling really good about it and you're sitting there going, why am I not just going for this? There is a part of you that is wanting you to overthink and then convince yourself not to do it. And it works the same on the other side. If you say to yourself, absolutely not, no way I'm doing that, there is another part of you that is telling you, well, actually, maybe you might want to do it, and overthink it a bit, and then maybe you'll change your mind. And then these are emotions that are causing this. It's the little person on your shoulder, going, well, maybe you've said absolutely flat, no, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like I want to do that. And then that side of you is like, oh, but, you'll feel guilty if you don't do that. And that person's so nice. And that, it's kind of like that. It's like, oh, but what will other people think of you if you don't do that? Or what? And then it's like that muddies everything. And then the overthinking process starts because that part of you is trying to convince you to do something else. And the same thing works. If you're like, yay, this is fun, I can't wait to do it, and I really want to do it, and then there's another part of you here going, oh yeah, but that's expensive, or that'd be a lot of time off work, or do you really want to get up that early in the morning? That's the overthinking process. And that's that other part of you saying, wait a minute, I know you want to do that, but I don't want us to do that. So let's start the overthinking process, and I'll try and convince you otherwise. So always know the overthinking process is a part of you trying to override your inner guidance system to turn you in the other direction. And once we are armed with that and we know that, I actually feel that that's quite refreshing and relieving, because I just think as soon as I start overthinking, I'm like, why am I trying to convince myself that not to do this? Or why am I trying to convince myself to do this when I don't want to? And you just have to really pull yourself back and say there's part of you, for some reason, that doesn't want you to do it. Now you can sit in that overthinking process and you can try and convince yourself of something else, or you could just simply follow your first instinct and your inner guidance system and say, no, I'm going to enjoy this. It's not hurting anyone, it's not harming anyone, nothing bad's going to happen from it, I'm going to go for it. And the same thing, like, I really don't want to do that, it won't make me happy, it won't bring me joy, I don't want to do it. And you leave the decision there. You don't have to overthink it any more than that. So the thing that I think you should quit doing now, Martha says she always overthinks absolutely everything. Martha, you must have a very stressful life if you really overthink everything. I know someone else like that, like right down to like ordering in a restaurant. Like, God forbid, like she orders the wrong thing. It's like, do I want that? But do I want fish? I like fish, but then I would miss out on the this is like, order something. So okay, so food, you're all good. So you don't overthink absolutely everything, just most things. Yeah, so it's really interesting, like how we feel like the overthinking process, we're going to miss out on something, or something bad is going to happen if we simply follow this. And it does really stem from fear. It stems from fear, I believe, on the moment where you want to really go for something and you hold yourself back from that and you convince yourself to overthink it because you want to change your mind. But I think the other side of the spectrum is less of about fear, but more of about guilt, and like if you say no to somebody, because you just don't want to do it, like then that kind of guilt feeling comes in, and I should have said yes, and I should have. It's kind of like that moment where, am I being selfish? Am I thinking too much of myself? Should I have done that for that person? So I think it comes from a whole range of emotions. And I think it depends how you're feeling at the time as to the initial first gut reaction decision that you want to make, because we all have a first gut reaction decision until we start overthinking. And then sometimes our overthinking causes us to even forget what our initial gut reaction was, and that's where it's all muddy. That's where the water is totally muddy, because we have to overthink our initial gut reaction, which was okay, yeah, or okay, no, or I'm more towards yes than no, or I'm more towards no than yes. But once we start overthinking, you can literally cancel that out and forget about how you were even ever feeling about it in the first place. So by quitting the overthinking process and saying, right, I'm no longer going to overthink, you'll not only save yourself time, but you will also save yourself probably quite a lot of anxiety and, kind of, it's just a waste. It's just a waste. You'll save yourself anxiety, you'll save yourself a headache, all of these things, just simply by deciding I am going to quit overthinking, I'm going to go with my gut instinct, and whatever happens, I know it will work out. And most of the time, and you've got to admit this, 99% of the time, if you do go with that first gut instinct, usually it's right, and usually you will go in with the right belief system to actually make things work. It's when your belief system is not catching up with your inner guidance system, that things can get a little bit tricky, but it'll all work itself out. Just make the decision. Go for it. Do not override your inner guidance system with overthinking. Martha says clothes shopping is a complete nightmare. I don't like shopping at all, and always when I go shopping, because I absolutely have to go shopping, or sometimes I do it on Amazon, to be honest with you, because I'm not a big fan of shops, but I will literally find one thing I like and then just buy it in different colours, because I think, oh, that'll mean I don't have to go shopping again for any other clothes. Yeah, so I end up with like this set of clothes which are all the same but different colours. It drives my husband crazy, but never mind. Okay, because my husband's like super into like fashion and clothes, and and he's always asking me like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this hat? And I'm like, it's a hat. It's a shirt. It looks fine. Go for it. I don't have the same appreciation for fashion, but I do overthink clothes a lot, and this is why I hate shopping, because you put it on and then you're like, do I like it? Do I not like it? And even if you say to yourself, oh, I like it, then that other part of you comes in going, oh, but does your bum look big in that, or can you see your bingo wings and things like that? That's where you completely override your, oh, this is nice, I love it, to the point where you actually convince yourself out of it. Then when you get it home and try it on again, you end up changing your mind. Always keep the receipt, Martha. Always keep the receipt. Okay. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for today. We do have our accountability to do now, so get your journals at the ready. Accountability, non-negotiable. We have to do this every day. And I hope this week, this is also giving you a little bit of traction to really think about your goals and think about whether any of these things you're doing that you need to quit in order to accelerate the progress and speed of achieving your goals as well. So I'm totally going to go into a positive topic next week, I've decided, because we've done like the holding you back and the quizzing and things like that. And I just want you to know I've decided to change trajectory on the run up to my birthday, because it's coming into May now. And I have decided that next week we're going to have a positive morning mindset as opposed to thinking about a lot of negative things. Anyway, just giving you a little warning there. Today we're doing accountability. Get your journals ready, and then I shall see you back here tomorrow for another topic on quitting. Take care. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside virtual co-working space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it.
Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.